Or he can start if you want, and then you can describe what we're
No,
doing.
this is my show.
Oh.
I'm the star of the show.
my
Not
bad.
this guy.
My bad.
Just kidding. Just kidding, man. This is your show. Okay, so we had a lot of fun this weekend. We were testing out the cars, and we had a little bit of a misfortune. This thing broke. It's the Panhard bar. Goes from the axle to the chassis. And, you know, Josiah's brother was driving, and he's a bit reckless. He snapped it. And we're going to fix it. We got some plans. Josiah, you want to go over the plans?
Yeah, so I hit Joel, plus Cam had a little ice drifting incident that I think bent it, but me and Joel ultimately destroyed it. Looking at the way that we want to design this, we're going to use some inch and a quarter, 120 wall tubing. Going to be nice and strong. We were going to do a left and right hand Heim joint on both sides, but with the depth of this shackle, we don't think we could get a wrench in there to tighten the jam nut. So what we're going to do now is use a uniball cup, which is this. So we're going to put a bearing in here. This is going to go there. The tube is going to get welded to this, and then we're going to have what's called a jack screw on this end. So you'll do all your adjustments from this side. It'll lengthen and shorten. It'll center the axle depending on your ride height. And it's gonna be really easy to adjust because you'll be able to tighten everything down all from one side. You don't gotta crawl over the floor and do this adjustment. Kyle's gonna fab it up. While we're under here, we're also gonna look at the upper control arm. Has crazy big rubber bushings that are super soft. So the axle's gonna be just bouncing around when you're drifting. And we've seen it. This thing, it can hop, it can dance, and do some stuff that we don't want. We're also gonna make some adjustable traction arms, which would be super cool. I bet you it's a BMW rear lower control arm aluminum body. Hey Kyle?
Yeah.
Which measures around 13 and a half inches long, maybe 14. Left and right in each side. Throw it in there, make the spacers. Another product for the boys. If it's not the right size, we'll measure it, draw it out, and then build them for you guys. So it's really easy. The rear ends of these have a lot of potential if we can get the anti-squat perfected, if we get good stability. These cars are awesome. It was really fun to drive. This thing slays on every level for just being an out-of-the-box 4.6 V8. It's got all the torque, all the power, and the angle kit feels great. The handbrake needs a little bit of attention. Joel wrecked that too. The Willwood stem just buckled. Oh, he's already got it out. Look at that. This is what happens when you... So basically, it wasn't working, mostly due to the size of the Mustang calipers. We should probably go to a smaller bore master, but we didn't have time. I told Joel, hey, this isn't going to work very well. Don't even bother. Use it as a learning day where you can drift without a handbrake and learn some new styles of drifting. He pulled it anyways, about as hard as he could. That's the result. Thanks, Joel. Send you a bill for that, $8.95. Other than that, because the Panhard bar broke, we actually did some damage here on the gas tank fiberglass protection cover. Luckily, it did not puncture the gas tank, but it was close. So basically, the axle is free to dance left and right. When I was following him, the axle was sticking out that side like 6 inches, then he turned again, and then it was out the other side. And I was like, I know exactly what that is, and it's not good. So anyways, the drive shaft was doing this, back and forth. Other than that, this car's for sale. So consider buying it after we fix this. Turnkey, it's got a little switch panel for the fans. 10 grand Canadian. In Maple Leafs, it's not much. In Bald Eagles, it's even cheaper. That's too long of an intro. See ya.
All right, so I have some of the parts and pieces with me that I'm going to use to fabricate this little Panhard bar. What we have here is a jack screw. So it's a pretty clever and simple little thing that we have here that we utilize in a lot of our kits. It's pretty much a piece of threaded rod with a little nut in the center. And this side is right-hand thread, and this side is left-hand thread. So what you have is you have your Heim joint, this left-hand thread, threaded on there. This is the bung that welds onto the rest of the bar. So pretend this is your Panhard bar. You want to make adjustments, you want to lengthen the bar. You literally just turn that center part and that'll shorten the bar, and then you turn it the other way and it'll lengthen the bar. It's really strong and cool, and this is what we're gonna use on this car. I think Josiah talked about it, said it's hard to fit a wrench in this pocket here. Like imagine, this is an 1.1/8" nut, so imagine a big old wrench, just no room to spin it. So on this side, you got tons of room. So it's gonna go there, and we're gonna be able to adjust everything from here, lock it in, golden. I found 2 spacers. So usually when we make stuff on our shelf, we have nicely labeled bins with a bunch of misalignment spacers. Just did a quick measurement from here to here and went to the shelf and just found a couple spacers that fit. So the bolt that goes into the arm is an M14 size bolt. I keep hitting the tire with my head.
Is an M14.
So the bolt that goes into the car is an M14 bolt. So it's important, we needed M14 hole size misalignment spacers. So I just found S550 rear upper control arm spacers combined with 240 tension arm spacers. Work perfectly in this car. Yeah. Pretty neato. Okay, Jack, so our next step is roughly center line this axle, which it is kind of, like you can tell the drive shaft is kind of centered in the gas tank pocket here. We're just gonna get a rough measurement from here to here with these threaded in halfway, obviously, or maybe it's not so obvious. We're gonna get a measurement from this shoulder to this shoulder, and then we're gonna take that measurement to this 1.25" chromoly DOM 095 wall tubing. We're gonna cut it down, bing, bing, right there, and we're gonna lay some fat beads. That's my favorite part. Yeah, that's it. We have these pieces threaded halfway in, and that's pointed that way, this is pointed that way, and we're gonna get a quick measurement from here to here after we center the axle. That's our bar length, man. 5/8 on the money. I was measuring it from the ground, but then like the difference between ride height and droop on this car is like an inch of wheel travel, since these shocks are set up for road racing and they don't have a lot of like suspension travel. I think measuring it up in the air is not bad at all, so we're in good shape. 32 5/8 is how long I'm gonna make that 1.25" dom to be. Yeah, major beatage after that, just wait. Okay, now we're gonna take this whole tube to the bandsaw and we're gonna cut 32 5/8 out of it. It's gonna be our new Panhard bar. I gotta carpenter up, man. There we go. You know how pole vaulting? Oh yeah, brother. I'm not a real carpenter. There we go. What are you zooming in on? There we go. Okay. Just saying the same shit over again. We got our bar cut up. Are you recording? So we got our bar cut up and it seems to fit, okay? So this is the rough idea of what an aftermarket FDF sicko mode Panhard bar would look like. Chromoly DOM tubing, couple bungs, couple jack screws, couple hind doinks. You're good. I'm just gonna double check that the wheel is somewhat the axle's centered. Oh yeah, we're Gucci. And we can double check here too. Got like 3 fingers on the end of each drive shaft to the gas tank, I guess. It's not very scientific. But the cool thing is, I left about half thread in the heim joint, half thread showing on the jack screw. So you can easily adjust it with plenty of thread engagement left on your heim joints and jack screws. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's get some major beadage action going. We're gonna use this Bessie. How big that thing is, man. There's Jack's hand as a comparison. Watch, this thing's gonna blow the circuit breaker 8 times. Over there, 8 times, I guarantee it.
Yep, give me 10. Oh, it's the gas tank, dude.
Okay, now we have the Panhard bar fully welded up and finished. We're gonna get it off to powder coat and then fully install it after that. Okay, so we got the bar back from powder coat. Troy did an excellent job doing flake black. What we're gonna do now is thread in the heim joints. Off camera, I cleaned off the ends with a die grinder and tapped it so that there's no burrs in there. This side's a left-hand thread. So again, this side is the non-adjusted side. So this is just a heim joint, and we're gonna lock it in and never adjust it again. This is where all the adjustment comes from, just to repeat myself. So this is again the jack screw with the female heim. Oh, this is right-hand thread. So this side is where all the adjustment's gonna come from. Once you have it in the car, these two are locked in and you can just rotate the center part and it'll lengthen or shorten the bar. So let's install it. Just gonna even up the amount of threads that we have here. It's like a rough idea, like that looks close to that. Put it in the car. No blowing up motors during the drift events. This was a hard weekend, man. 2 casualties. He's down bad, man. 2 people taken victim by the Shannonville racetrack. They don't like VQs and LSs. All right, this side we're gonna put in first, just because if you try to swing it up, it'll hit that. So, yeah. Okay, so we got the Panhard bar installed. That was pretty simple to make, right? Just like 1.25" DOM tube, couple of jack screws. Luckily at our shop, we have all the tools and parts to make these bars pretty easily. So I think it turned out great. I'm really happy with it, and I'm sure Troy will be too. Thanks, guys.